Welcome back to It's Just Queen Bee's Thoughts. Today, I want to dive into a topic that's essential but often feels uncomfortable. Vulnerability. I know vulnerability can seem like a weakness, especially when we've had to put up walls to protect ourselves. But in reality, being vulnerable, being open, authentic, and honest is one of the most powerful things we can do for ourselves in recovery. It's the foundation for meaningful relationships, true self-understanding, and lasting healing. So today, I want to explore why vulnerability is key to personal growth, how we can start practicing it in small, manageable ways, and how it can become a source of strength. Vulnerability is often misunderstood as simply being weak or overly sensitive, but vulnerability in its truest form is about being real, about showing up as you are, imperfections and all. In recovery, this means acknowledging the parts of ourselves we may have been hiding. It's about being honest with ourselves and, when we're ready, with others. And the truth is, being vulnerable is one of the bravest things we can do because it means putting ourselves out there without knowing how people will respond. Vulnerability allows us to drop the armor we've been carrying around and just be. It's in these moments of openness that we can start connecting with our true selves and building real relationships based on trust and not fear. Recovery often means reevaluating our relationships and letting go of connections that don't support us. By being vulnerable, we can form deeper, more meaningful bonds with others, bonds that aren't based on hiding our true selves. Vulnerability doesn't mean we have to open up to everyone, but choosing to share with those we trust can help us feel seen and supported in a way that addiction never allowed. Think about one or two people in your life who have shown that they're here for you. These are the people to start practicing vulnerability with. It could be as simple as sharing a fear or admitting you're struggling. Often, those we trust most want to support us but don't know how unless we open up. Being vulnerable also helps us see ourselves more clearly. When we're honest about our past, our mistakes, and even our insecurities, we're able to confront those things and learn to accept them. Self-acceptance is a crucial part of recovery because it allows us to move forward without constantly looking over our shoulder. A powerful way to practice self-acceptance is to write about your journey without judgment. List the things you're proud of, and also the things you're still working on, recognizing both sides of yourself, your growth, and your ongoing challenges. It can be empowering. Vulnerability with ourselves is the first step to being authentic with others. Addiction often masks emotions we didn't feel equipped to handle, so when we let that go, emotions can feel overwhelming. Vulnerability helps us reconnect with our feelings in a healthy way, allowing us to process them instead of hiding from them. This emotional release can come through talking, writing, or even physical activities like exercise or art. When we give ourselves permission to feel, we're honoring our journey and creating space for healing. One way to start reconnecting with your emotions is to do a feelings check-in every day. Ask yourself, how do I really feel today? You might be surprised at what comes up. By acknowledging your emotions regularly, you start building a practice of emotional honesty that strengthens over time. In recovery, many of us face regret, whether it's for things we did or didn't do. Vulnerability is essential for forgiveness, both for ourselves and others. Being vulnerable enough to admit our regrets and then consciously choosing to forgive can be freeing. This isn't about forgetting or condoning. It's about letting go of the shame that can hold us back. Start by forgiving yourself for one small thing. It could be a decision you made in the past that you'd wish you'd handled differently. Acknowledge it, take any lessons from it, and then consciously decide to let it go. Little by little, these acts of forgiveness build a foundation of self-compassion. Finally, let's talk about how vulnerability shapes the future. When we're honest about who we are and where we've been, we can start making decisions that align with our true selves. This might mean setting new boundaries, embracing new goals, or simply learning to speak up for what we need. Vulnerability allows us to be intentional and to build a life that truly feels right for us. Try setting one small goal for yourself based on where you want to go. It could be anything, from speaking your truth in a relationship to pursuing a hobby you're passionate about. When you align with what matters to you, vulnerability becomes a tool for creating a life that's meaningful. Thank you for joining me today as we talked about vulnerability and its role in recovery. I know this path isn't always easy, but opening ourselves up to growth, connection, and healing is one of the most courageous things we can do. Remember, vulnerability is a strength, not a weakness. And by embracing it, we give ourselves the chance to live authentically, to connect deeply, and to heal fully. Until next time, Keep showing up as you are and take pride in your journey. You are not alone.